Caleb, a name that stands out in the Bible as a symbol of unwavering faith and courage, was one of the 12 spies sent by Moses to explore the land of Canaan. From the very beginning, Caleb's story is a testament to his faith in God and his commitment to following the Lord's commands. Unlike the others, who brought back a report filled with fear and doubt, Caleb saw the land as an amazing gift from God, ready to be claimed by the people of Israel. His confidence was rooted in his belief that if God was with them, no enemy could stand in their way. But who exactly was Caleb, and what makes his story so compelling? Caleb was from the tribe of Judah, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. He was a man who trusted God completely, even when others faltered. When the Israelites were on the brink of entering the Promised Land, it was Caleb, along with Joshua, who stood against the majority, insisting that they could conquer the land with God's help. This courage set him apart and made him a key figure in the history of Israel. Caleb's role didn't end with just words. His faith translated into action. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, a punishment for the people's lack of faith, Caleb, now 85 years old, didn't ask for a quiet retirement. Instead, he requested the hill country of Hebron, a land inhabited by giants, as his inheritance. Why? Because he believed that God was still with him, just as he had been in his youth. Caleb wasn't seeking an easy path. He was ready to face challenges head-on, knowing that God's promise was sure. So why does Caleb's story matter to us today? His life is a powerful example of what it means to trust in God's promises, even when circumstances seem impossible. Caleb's faith wasn't based on what he saw, but on who God is. This kind of faith is what the Lord calls us to have. A faith that doesn't waver in the face of difficulties, but remains strong because it is rooted in the certainty of God's word. Caleb's story encourages us to be bold in our faith, to take God at his word, and to move forward, knowing that with him, all things are possible. Now, let's explore the significance of Caleb's faith and the rewards he received. Caleb's unwavering belief in God's promise led to a specific blessing, the inheritance of Hebron. This wasn't just any piece of land. Hebron was a significant city, rich in history and meaning for the Israelites. It was where the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had lived and where they were buried. For Caleb to receive this land was a remarkable honor, signifying God's approval of his faith and courage. It was a tangible reward for his spiritual dedication. But Caleb's story isn't just about personal gain. His life and actions had a ripple effect on the entire nation of Israel. Caleb's example inspired others to trust in God's promises. When he declared that they could take the land despite the overwhelming odds, he was calling the people back to faithfulness, reminding them of the amazing power of God to fulfill his promises. How can we apply Caleb's example in our lives today? First, it teaches us to trust in God's timing. Caleb waited 40 years to receive the promise, and even then, he was ready to fight for it. This reminds us that God's promises may not come to fruition immediately, but they are sure. We must be patient and ready to act when the time comes. Second, Caleb's story shows us that age is not a barrier to serving God. Even in his old age, Caleb was ready to take on new challenges for the Lord. This encourages us to never stop seeking God's will, no matter our stage in life. Caleb's faith was born out of a deep relationship with God. This kind of faith is available to everyone who seeks God and is willing to trust in him completely. Just as Caleb's faith led him to inherit a physical land, our faith in God leads us to inherit the spiritual promises he has for us.